Hey guys, welcome back. This is History of Power Rangers Season 2, Episode 35 of my show, but this is about Episode 33 of Season 2 of Power Rangers. But before I start talking about it, I just kind of want to mention two things. The first is, since we're on Episode 33, that means, let's see this, let's see, yeah, when we were on episode 32, that means we'd have from 30 more videos left. Yeah, so the last video I did, we had 30 more videos left and stuff, so I say 30 because I'm going by the 2. And also, another thing I want to mention is this is going to sound funny, but this is actually the first video I am going to be doing on my new iPad that I just got for my birthday and stuff. So, when I post this video, just, again, my birthday was this past weekend, so that's why I have this new iPad. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, and also just please give this video the real best you guys can when it's up and stuff. Okay, now getting into the actual episode here. This is History of Power Rangers Season 2, Episode 35 of my show, but this is about Episode 33 of Season 2. And Episode 33 in the original Power Rangers second season is known as Lights, Camera, Action. Now, as the name of the episode states, it kind of had to do with taking place on TV, basically. And then, basically the way this episode starts off is the Rangers are in their classroom and they're watching this video about who created television, and then basically, well, it's for a report, and then basically Miss Appleby basically explains to them when the student's presentation is over, and in the presentation it said General David Sarnoff, and basically and then she asked the question, who was the one responsible for the creation of television, and then Bulk answers it by saying, I can't remember if it's Bulk or Skull, but one of them says Captain Kangaroo, which Miss Appleby states is incorrect. And then basically what happens is, after that, Adam said it, General David Sarnoff, and then that's when basically Bulk and Skull Bulk makes a little bit of a, I think you could kind of consider it a funny remark, because he says Captain General with the difference, which, you know, honestly, I kind of agree. There is sort of similarities to it because it's a title, so it's funny. Anyway, and then basically what happens is, after that, Miss Appleby basically explains to the students that they're going to be watching a television program called the Harvey Garvey Show tonight, and because the Power Rangers are going to be on the show basically, and they're going to explain about how the power of television, and also about how to stay in school and stuff. And basically she tells them that their assignment is on the next day to discuss what they felt was what they caught on for the Power Rangers message about school and stuff. And then that's where this part of the episode stops, and then it goes to a scene where Zedd is, and then when he overhears that segment, he decides to basically put a plan of his into action. Now what I mean by put a plan of his into action is basically he's gonna, well, first his plan involves, the first part of it, I mean, it involves kidnapping the real Rangers and creating doppelgangers of them, basically. And then, again, I just wanted to spread a different message. And basically, Zedd tells Goldar to send down his putties to kidnap the Rangers so that he can swap them out for the evil ones. And then that's when Adam basically tells the rest of the Rangers that he doesn't really like cameras. And then the others basically, they tell him that they don't have anything to worry about because they're going to be in costume and no one will see them, basically. I think the reason why he said he was afraid of cameras is partially because he has a fear of it and partially because he doesn't want people to see their identities. So I think it's a twofold thing. So in honesty, that kind of but one of the Rangers explains to him that they'll be in their Ranger form, so no one will see who they are. And then basically Adam says even though that's true, he still doesn't like cameras. Oh, and before I continue, I should just get into a little segment here with Bulk and Skull. The funny thing about Bulk and Skull's characters for this segment of the episode, for this episode, is that they're still gonna try to figure out who the Rangers are, but this time their plan has to do with on TV. Basically, they're gonna try to take the Power Rangers helmets off them while they're on TV to reveal their identities to the world. And that's also going to play a funny ending in this episode with their character, with those characters. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Anyway, what happens is that's when Zedd sends down his putties to fight the Rangers, and then after that, what happens is the Rangers manage to defeat the putties. Well, first they morph to their Ranger forms and they manage to defeat the putties, and then after that they contact Zordon to tell them about the situation and what they should do. And then Zordon tells them that they don't have anything to worry about for right now. For now, they should just head to the TV station. So they head there the rest of the way, and then that's when, basically, that's when the show starts, and then the host of the show is asking the people if they want them, and then he's saying, do they want them again, and then he said, you wanted them, well, now you got them, and now it does an introduction scene where it shows, the Rangers in their past fighting. Oh, but before I continue, I should mention, you know how in my first season set of videos in the two-part episode, Island of Illusion, the second part of that two-parter was a lot of flashbacks? Well, this episode is sort of similar to that. It's another episode with flashbacks, with all the battles that the Rangers had fought up to the point of this episode in particular. I just thought I'd mention that. I guess I should have mentioned that at the beginning of the video, but it slipped my mind until now. And then after the host of the show is finished doing their introduction, the Rangers show up, and then he's thanking the Rangers for taking the time to be there, and then the White Ranger basically said that they're there to spread a message about to be the best way to be cool is to basically like stay in school and stuff, and then it goes to a little bit of a commercial break, and then in the next scene it comes back from that, and then basically the host of the show is asking the Rangers to staying in school and help them become Rangers and stuff, and the White Ranger says that basically they couldn't become Power Rangers with just that they had, and they had to learn, because basically this is where the flashback segment of the episode comes into play, is because they're reminiscing about past monsters that they have defeated up to this point, as I stated before. And then Billy in his Blue Ranger form explains. Well, first I should just mention something. Before they went to the commercial break in the episode, in the show they were on, they said the phrase, be cool to stay in school and stuff. I just wanted to backtrack to that part. And then now getting back into what I was saying earlier, I don't know, the White Ranger explains to the host of the show that each one of Zedd's monsters was tough for them to fight. They had to figure out a weakness of each monster in order to defeat it. And then the host of the show is asking them if they could provide an example of that. And then the Pink Ranger explains about the Pudgy Pig monster, which is the monster from last season where they fought Rita, but since they're fighting that, they're counting it as a segment for this, which makes sense, because anyway, she explains about how the Pudgy Pig monster was eating the entire world's food supply and was running rampant, and it was really, really gross. And then she mentions how the pig monster also ate their weapons. And then basically what happens is after that, then the host of the show is inquiring about how they defeated the monster. And then Billy in his Blue Ranger form basically states that they used their heads and figured out that the Pudgy Pig monster weakness was he didn't like spicy food, so they stuffed a spicy radish in a sub and had the Pudgy Pig eat it and made it sick, and they got their weapons back. And they managed to defeat it. Now, before I continue, I just want to mention something. I just remembered something in this segment of the episode. The host of the show is asking them if he can show them a way they can do some of those kicks that they do and stuff, and they do provide a demonstration in the episode, and then the host does. Hey.
I've got one here.
Okay, thank you.
You're something here?
Yeah. The host of the show basically does those moves, but it doesn't work out, and he falls down, and he tells the people at home not to do these things at home because it takes practice to do them. And then basically what happens is after that, now I'm just gonna mention something about Bulk and Skull's characters here. They're gonna try to expose the Rangers by using the sandbags, and basically Bulk and is telling Skull when he says now to pull a different numbered rope in order for it to work, but and then now getting back into it with Zedd, after he finds out about the putties not failing to defeat the Rangers, he said that there's now no longer any time to create evil Rangers. He's got to create a monster in order to destroy the Rangers. Now, here's the funny thing. The monster that he's going to create is from the TV camera inside the studio. It's basically called the Showbiz monster. Oh my god, which is kind of a little bit of a corny name for it. And then after he creates the Showbiz monster, basically Alpha and Zordon are watching the show on TV on the viewing globe, and that's when they hear the alarm in the command center go off, and then Alpha gets a little upset about that because the Rangers are on TV. That means they'll have to be pulled away from it because of the emergency. And then basically what happens is after that, Zordon says that unfortunately this takes precedent over them being on TV, so he has Alpha contact them on their communicators while they're at the TV station. And then that's when the host of the show asks the White Ranger the question about what happened to the Green Ranger, and then he states that it's a long story, but he liked to stay in the present. And then that's when his communicator goes off, and then Alpha talks to the Rangers through the communicator and tells them about the situation, and then the Rangers decide that they have to go because of that. And then the host is wondering who was the voice on the other end, and then the White Ranger tells him that he's sorry, but duty calls. And then he tells the people at home to don't be a fool, stay in school. And then basically the Rangers teleport away from the TV studio, and the host of the show is wishing them luck. And then after that, that's when Bulk and Skull show up and do a little bit of a funny thing, and because the host of the show is asking them how did they get there, and he said that he doesn't want to know. And then the Rangers are back in the command center, and then they're wondering about what the emergency is, and then Zordon shows them that it's that Showbiz monster, and that he's out to make a name for himself by destroying them. And then that's when Adam said that he told them that he didn't like cameras. And then basically the Rangers jump back into the heat of battle. And this is going to sound kind of funny, but what happens is before Tommy says the word back to action, he says lights, camera, we're moving back into action. And then that's when then there's like, action? They want action, do they? Well, I'll give them action, alright? And he uses his potion to make the Showbiz monster grow. And then basically what happens after that is the Rangers, after they show up, the Rangers call on their Zords and fight the Showbiz monster in the Megazord, and the Showbiz monster is telling them it's time for them to cut to the chase. It's their final scene, and the Rangers manage to defeat it. And then Zedd gets upset that he lost again, and then basically what happens is after that, in the next scene, what happens is Miss Appleby is explaining to the class that they need to talk about the Power Rangers message, and also about the interesting show they had, episode of the Harvey Garvey show that they watched that had the Power Rangers on it. And they basically she asks them if they have questions, and then one of the students tells them that basically the Power Rangers think it's cool, and so does she. And then she asks Adam what he thought of the show, and then basically Adam said that the Power Rangers basically reached out and touched him, and which is funny because Miss Appleby doesn't know that he's one of them. And then basically what happens is she's explaining that the Power Rangers have touched everyone there all over the world as well, and then she reads them this note that this letter that she got from Jason, Zach, and Trini in Switzerland, and then after the note's read, Bulk and Skull show up, and then basically what happens is Miss Appleby is telling Bulk and Skull to sit down, and then after they sit down, she's telling them that for being late to class, Skull and Bulk will be in detention after school starting every day next week. And then Bulk and Skull, then Bulk makes his little fist movement on the ground like he's upset, and then basically that's where this episode stops. So if you guys like this video when I post it, I am gonna post it just as soon as I finish eating my supper. So if you guys like this video when I post it, just please give this video the real best you guys can, and I will see you guys probably next time for the next video. So until then, just please give this video the real best you guys can, and this is the first video on my new iPad, so I just want to ask if you guys could maybe just again give this video the best you guys can, and I'll see you guys next time for the next video. So until then, like I always tell you with this series, may the power protect you always.